update here for the severe weather outbreak. Wait a sec, see if anybody tunes in, but we're looking at a tornado outbreak throughout much of the southern portions of the United States. We are chasing, but we're not in the highest risk area. We chose a secondary target, partially due to the terrain that this is going through, partially due to just work schedules and whatnot. So we are about to do just a little in-depth analysis of kind of what's going on and what to expect as far as potential claims from this system. We also had very recently a tornado outbreak in the Texas Panhandle. We had hail last night in Oklahoma and Missouri, up to almost baseball-sized hail. We had nearly baseball-sized hail in southwestern Oklahoma last night, and it's just looking to be an all-around crazy day. Really active start to the spring, like we were kind of talking about in some of those other updates. But here's the Storm Prediction Center outlook. As I'm sure many of you have seen, we have a high risk that is primarily for strong long-track tornadoes that are going to be going anywhere from southeastern Arkansas, northeastern Louisiana, all the way through Mississippi into Mississippi and Alabama. We're going to have multiple rounds of tornadoes, some of which are actually already ongoing right now. We've already had probably at least one tornado. We're looking live at radar here. Go down and take a look at this storm that's coming into Alabama. This is the first round. We've kind of got this warm air advection fueling isolated supercell development, and we can see here this is going to be south of Meridian, Mississippi. We have this storm. It likely produced a tornado. It's looking a little weaker right now, but likely our first tornado of the day is somewhere right in there. Zoom in on that. So somewhere just west of Waynesboro, I'm guessing we probably had our first tornado of the day. We also have a concerning supercell that's near the Birmingham, Alabama area. We've got one west of Montgomery. This is just round one. So we're going to have this initial round. You can see this is warm air advection. You see how it's all rising like that from the warm air coming off the Gulf of Mexico. That is going to be round one, and that's going to persist. Let me wipe out the lens here, see if that helps the screen a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. So yeah, this is round one, and then you can see round two is this off over here. This is going to be pushing into the Delta regions here in the next few hours, and we could see redevelopment of supercells, or at least line segments with potential for tornadoes that'll move into western Mississippi here this afternoon into evening. We are on a third target, which is up here on the warm front, kind of triple point is what we call it, a triple point of dry air from the southwest, warm moist air from the southeast, and cool air from the northwest. So we're up here, we're near Joplin, Missouri. We'll go back to the Storm Prediction Center map. We're on the edge of the risk here. It's kind of a surface level wraparound, but the main threat is going to be through here. And when we get strong, long-track, violent tornadoes that could potentially go through major metropolitan areas, and even just, it's a lot more densely populated when you go into this portion of the United States. We can actually go here and kind of show population density. And you can see all the, sorry for the glare, but you can see all the kind of black dotting, shading is representative of denser population. I mean, you get out here into the western portions of Tornado Alley, not much out here, obviously, except for a few cities, but lots of population densities throughout that area. It's definitely not looking good, especially that we've already probably had a tornado, and it's, just around noon Central Time, just past noon. So that is not a good trend, and we still have multiple hours of severe weather to go through. But yeah, so claim volume, I mean, with tornadoes, it's always tricky because it really just depends if it goes through a populated area and how many tornadoes there are. But this is potentially looking like one of the bigger outbreaks in recent memory, so we could definitely be seeing claim volume from that. Not only that, actually hail for this, yep, there we go. We have a tornado report from that storm that we were just talking about. So there was a confirmed tornado that was going to be south of Meridian, Mississippi, closer to, whoops, sorry, let me go here, use my right hand so I can actually maneuver this. So that's going to be just west of Waynesboro, Mississippi. We had a tornado on the ground earlier. We had a really intense velocity couplet, which makes sense. Makes sense that we had that. And then tomorrow into the Carolinas is going to be very bad as well. It looks like I'm losing internet connection for some reason on the laptop here. But as we get into the, Georgia, Carolinas tomorrow, and almost equally as high risk for tornadoes as well. And then, like I was saying when the internet started fumbling around, there's also a pretty good risk of large hail in this area, at least compared to what you usually see with these Dixie Alley type setups. There's probably going to be some potentially up to baseball size hail throughout there, which is not common. If you get that through a population density, there would 100% be deployment opportunities. It just obviously, as always, depends on where these things line up. But with the multiple rounds and the large just scale nature of this area that's going to be affected, it almost seems silly to think that, there we go, and we got radar back. It almost seems silly to think that there wouldn't be some type of unfortunate catastrophic event today. So it's a sad reality, but just with this type of event, with like I said, we've got this first round here. We might even have a second round of supercells that forms off over here, and then the third round coming in later this evening. I mean, guys, that's a 1-2-3 punch. It doesn't get much more potent than that with this type of environment. So that'll be absolutely insane. Like I said, we're up here near Joplin, Missouri, on a more conditional threat. Still definitely a threat for large hail and tornadoes up here. It's just not going to be as long track and violent as perhaps down south. But we'll be covering that up here. I have quite a bit of video to share with you guys. I actually just got my voice back. I had laryngitis or something and lost my voice, so I wasn't able to make a video for the recent tornadoes that we saw. But we saw a large wedge tornado in the Texas Panhandle a few days ago. And last night in southwestern Oklahoma, we got hail up to the size of almost baseballs, tennis ball to baseball size hail. And that activity was throughout Oklahoma, Missouri. Just an all-around crazy start to the severe weather season here. So this has been AdjusterTV, weather briefing here. I might do another one later in the day once, the rest of the rounds of storms start coming through. But if you live in, Mississippi, Alabama, eastern Arkansas, eastern Louisiana, even up through Missouri, definitely be careful today. It's going to be perhaps a historic tornado outbreak. So anyways, guys, we'll talk to you later. Stay safe.